What we're looking at here is the mouth of the blue ribbon adit. It's EC0051 on the map. It's completely caved. Looking back in there, we'll go in and look at the trough. It goes back about 180 or 85 feet. Here we're looking west northwest up the collapsed adit. It's basically just a trench right now. We'll go back up in farther there and see what the face looks like right where it goes into the mountain. But essentially it's caved all the way. There's no water running out of it. I'll talk about a water problem here in just a bit when I get back out of here. Here we're looking at the face of the portal, essentially, where the attic goes into the hill. It's completely caved. You can see where the scarp up above there where it collapsed down. The trench is about 8 feet deep, where I'm standing about 10 feet back from the face. Again, like I said, there's no water running out of the adit, but there's water running down in front going through the dump, and we'll look at that here in just a minute. This is a small pond formed in a pit just upstream from the blue ribbon adit. The creek you can see kind of trickling down right there. I took a water sample right there, and as you might see, the kind of the green strip is where the stream comes down through the valley here. There was no evidence of mining activity on up the stream here, so I took a sample there to get above the dump and any what influence what I think of the mining. Again, here's the small pond. It flows out the bottom there and flows down through. If kind of keep an eye on it, there's another pond right here, and the water basically stops right there. You can see my pack, the orange there is right at the mouth of the adit, and the dump goes on away from us, right straight out that way. The water ponds up there and seeps down through the adit, or through the dump, and we'll go over and look a little bit at the dump. It's kind of overgrown and hard to see what it is, and then we'll look at the face and the seep coming out the lower part of it. This is that pond we were looking at just a moment ago. My pack is right at the mouth of the portal. It goes back in the trench right back in that way, all totally overgrown there. You can't hardly see it from here. But we're standing on the dump in line with the portal. We'll swing around and just kind of, it's real flat. It's real broad in this area, maybe 50 feet wide. Again, there's not a lot to see. We'll see back in there right about the center of the picture now is the nose of the dump. It goes back about 130 feet. It's about 130 feet long, 50 feet wide. There's several lobes to it, 3 or 4 lobes. We're going right along, panning on the nose of it. We'll go down below and get a look back up at it and see how thick it really is, and look at the seep that's coming out. Here we're looking at the face of the dump, one of the lobes, and come across it, kind of an indent, and then another lobe you might be able to make out there. It's very difficult to see. The nose of it is completely overgrown. What I want to show you here is the right here is water bubbling up out of the ground, basically at the toe of the dump. I sampled that, took conductivity and such, and a water sample there, and that's pretty much the only place I could find water coming out. There's probably other places a little farther downstream, but it's coming right out the toe of the dump. And so I took one above and one below just to kind of compare the chemistries, and this this will wrap it up for this part of the Blue Ribbon. There's another portal down the road about 300 or 400 feet, but I think it's probably the main Blue Ribbon, but this is the one that's shown on the map as such, and I'll consider that one part of the Blue Ribbon. So this is pretty much it for this. This one will go down to the next one. What we're looking at here is what I feel is probably the adit, the second adit for the Blue Ribbon mine, which EC0051. It's just 300 or 400 feet down the road from the adit that's shown on the map. It's basically right in a little creek bottom. It might be water. Most of the water is coming out right where we're looking now. There's just a very slight seep on up above that, on up this way, but the bulk of the water starts right there. We're in that little pond, and we'll turn around and look downstream to the south and see what there's several of these little ponds. Now we're looking downstream to the south, looking at several ponds. They look to be collapses, possibly, in where this adit came out. I cannot seem to find up on the hillsides anywhere where there was an adit here, although there's a huge dump that we'll look at in a minute. And so there almost has to be an adit up this way somewhere, which I haven't really been able to identify. The water's pretty murky, mainly with moss and algae in it. I took a sample essentially where I'm standing. There's no real upstream sample taken. We'll go on down and see where this little stream discharges out onto a flat and then goes around the dump, and we'll take a look at that. Here we're looking upstream, kind of to the northwest, north, at kind of the direction where I just came from. This is the little stream that I was standing on. It comes out across this. There's a large flat with quite a bit of scrap metal and garbage all over it. The stream flows right along the edge of it. You might be able to see a little bit of iron staining as it comes across here. It gets a bit worse as you come down. We'll get down below. There's quite a bit in there. There's a old piece of machinery, I don't know, great big piston off a steam engine or something. It flows. It's sitting right in the stream, flowing right. The stream flows right under it. We'll go on down. There's another great big chunk there. We're looking out on the dump essentially right now. We'll go out and try to get a view of it, and then we'll go down below it. But we'll kind of check out the flat that I'm standing on, which is where possibly a mill site or something was. Here we're looking at the flat back up at the creek that we just came down and looked at. It's quite a large flat road going up away from us there, back up to that first adit that I did, which is the #1 adit for the Blue Ribbon. It just goes right down around this big flat. We'll pan across here. Look, there's a barrel over there and various other things. It's pretty uninspiring. We'll just come around and we'll kind of look out. Now we're looking basically down the dump itself. It goes about 110, 120 feet out. It's quite a large dump. That's why I can't seem to understand why I can't find an adit for it. It may be a shaft, but I suspect it's an adit. We'll take a look at the face of the dump, and then and then at the stream as it comes around the toe of it. We're standing on the road that goes down around the dump and back down towards Boyer Creek, where we're on a fork of. You can see it's fairly tall here. It gets quite a bit bigger on down. We'll get down there and take a look at that. Here we're looking up the road back up towards the flat where I first started. This is pretty much the highest part of the dump. I estimate it's about 25 feet high here. It goes back up into the trees that way. We'll get in there and kind of look at the face, and then where the little stream that discharges out of what I think is the adit and comes around the toe of the dump. Here we're looking upstream from the little creek that I've been filming there. Again, you can see iron oxides in the stream all along here. You can see that it's basically, we're looking at right at the top of the dump there. Kind of gets steeper and steeper and higher coming around with the stream flowing around the base of it and then back out, and then it goes out down. We're basically in the distance, in the greenish part out there is the road where we just were. That's the road here, and the stream goes down to it, flows down it for quite a ways, and then falls off the side. This is basically most of the stream right here that we see on down that is a fork of Boyer Creek. Well, this pretty much is it for the blue ribbon. I'll move on down the road to the next one and we'll check it out. There's one more addition to the blue ribbon. This is the upper part of the stream as it comes down around the dump. We're looking at the large boulders on the side of the dump right there, and the highest ones are pretty much the flat surface of the dump. There's highly iron stained in there, and the part I wanted to show is all the junk that's right in the stream right here. It comes pretty much, starts right in there and goes up. But it's all a lot of trash along here, lots of boards and such, cans. I just wanted to make sure that this got in there. I hadn't seen it before. This will be it for the blue ribbon.